Hello, dear friends. I'm coming back to you from Israel, the land which is holy and also hope-giving. And even today, I'm going to talk to our special guest, Calev Myers. Thank you, Calev, for joining us one more time. It's really fascinating. People were visiting the land of Israel to tour and to enjoy the spiritual enlightenment it gives. But today, we also see they come in for business. In 70 years, how has Israel developed as an intelligent business center?
Yeah, I mean, what's happening here at the business level in our economy is nothing less than a miracle. Today, there are more Israeli companies traded on NASDAQ in New York than the entire European continent put together. And actually, if you take all the companies in NASDAQ, first you have the United States, and then China, and then Israel. Israel is the third most companies traded on NASDAQ, which is crazy if you think about the size of the United States and China, right? In terms of patents, Israel has more patents than the United States, Russia, and China put together. So what's happening here? I mean, there's no question. I mean, we have more startup companies per capita than any country in the world, and what Israel's really leading the world in, I think, is innovation for good. So I think as business people of faith, we should ask the question: okay, how do I do well by doing good? How do I use my God-given gifts, talents, and abilities to tackle some of humanity's greatest crises? And I think we can look to Israel as a fantastic example of that. You know, Dr. Paul, if God forbid, in either Jerusalem or Tel Aviv today, you needed to make an emergency phone call. It would take on average 90 seconds to have an emergency vehicle at your front door.
Wow.
Right? So if you compare that to 8 minutes in New York and 9 minutes in London, you can imagine how many lives are being saved every day in Israel compared to the world. How?
That's through technology.
It's just through smart technology. We have a system where all of our emergency system vehicles use the same app that's connected to the same computer program that dispatches people in a very efficient way and really gets the job done. So, I mean, there's so many stories today of what's happening. You think of some of the natural disasters that have hit recently in your area of the world, and I saw a technology that a few weeks ago that was created in Israel that's a reverse osmosis desalination unit that you put on the back of a Jeep. So you could drive this Jeep up to salt water, put a pipe in one end, and get drinking water out of the other end, and immediately. And think what that can do. You know, if power goes down in different areas because of a tsunami or something like that. So these kind of technologies that are changing the world and dealing with some of the greatest crises through innovation.
Hope-giving.
Hope-giving, yeah. I mean, our calling as a nation really is to be a light to the world, to be a light to the nations. And I think in this area of innovation for good, the world is looking more and more to Israel as a source of hope.
And then intelligence. Israel has excelled.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look even, you ask the question, okay, why did the United States move its embassy to Jerusalem? There was a time in the 1980s where a lot of governments moved their embassies from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv because of an Arab oil embargo. The Arab countries said, if you're gonna have your embassy in Jerusalem, you can't buy oil from us. And so today, why are so many countries following the United States now and moving their embassy back to Jerusalem? I think it's because the Israeli technology and Israeli intelligence today is more important than Arab oil. So our intelligence services are sharing information with governments around the world and literally preventing terrorist attacks on every continent around the world, except maybe Antarctica. And what do you want as a leader of a country? You want to boost the economy and the security of your nation. Well, you need Israel for both of those things. You need Israeli technology to boost your economy, and you need Israeli intelligence to boost your security. And so, for that reason, I think diplomatic relations with the state of Israel are really better than they've ever been before.
Wow. So it's really hope-giving, protecting. How did innovation come about in Israel?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. There's a great book called Startup Nation, written by Dan Senior. I think there are a lot of positive things in the Israeli society. One of them would be we have a very questioning culture. In fact, Judaism is based on questioning. It's a group of people getting together, looking at Scripture, and then asking questions. What is God saying through this? What do we learn through this about the nature of God and about humanity, etc.? Well, that element of questioning is kind of always going beyond the norm. Well, how can we do this better? And then there's really a culture within society of what we call tikkun olam, which means fixing the world. So we believe that it's ours that we're on earth to make the earth a better place for humanity. So, I mean, if you take both those principles together and say, okay, we're always questioning, okay, how can we do this better? And I think that's just part of our culture.
Wow. How to make the world a better place to
Right,
live
to
in.
step beyond what we know, what we've already done to make the world a better
You
place.
do it in Israel and you share it to the world.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing this great truth. My friend, that's what life is all about. How to make this place, the world, a better place to live in. Of course, we talk about faith, but God gives us wisdom to innovate. Innovate or perish. But thank God, His wisdom prevails. Continue watching. We'll be back again with Calev Myers in the subsequent episodes.